It is the Morning Brew with Friends. Today we got a fun show. We're going to aprender un poco de español with Dr. Maria Dolores Gonzalez with the Spanish Immersion Program. We'll meet the Miss New Mexico Latina and Miss Teen New Mexico Latina this morning. We have a fashion show this morning, and our friends from the Albuquerque Museum are here to talk about all the don't miss shows. All on the Morning Brew with Friends.
Drums, please.
All right, was that right? Aprender un poco, or is it aprender un poquito? I always get those two confused.
Aprender un poco.
De español.
De español.
Ah, gracias.
De nada.
Primer, tenemos headlines that are brought to us by our friends at Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy.
Okay.
Necesito que practicar mi español. We'll
Sí.
figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
In just a minute. But first, we're talking about our friends in Cuba and the U.S. We're back at being friends again. I love this. Yesterday, officially, Cuba and the U.S. opened our first diplomatic relations in more than 60 years.
Isn't that fabulous?
It's great, right? Are you
Yeah.
going to go to Cuba?
I hope so.
My mom went to Cuba. My parents went to Cuba. And my mom said the Spanish there, she could understand them and they could understand her, but it was just a little bit different because they,
Right.
what is it, they dropped the last little bit of words, right?
Well, everybody speaks, different variations. So,
Right.
yeah, there's going to be differences.
Just like I go to other countries where they
Yeah.
speak English, but they don't really speak the same kind of English.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can barely understand people from other counties in the state.
That's true. Right. Australian English or British English.
Right, it's all
Yeah.
the same. But it should be cool, like to have finally the cultural exchange
Right.
again, right?
Definitely.
I think this is fascinating. I've been following this for years just because I'm super interested in the Billy the Kid thing. And now a professor, a history professor from Arizona thinks he has solved the mystery of Billy the Kid, well, kind of. And he's asking the New Mexico State Supreme Court to officially release a death certificate for Billy the Kid. People, I guess there's rumors that he didn't actually die when Pat Garrett shot him.
Really?
And then he went off to go live with Elvis and Tupac somewhere in northern New Mexico. And they're all hanging out somewhere on a ranch.
Right.
And so they're trying to get an official death certificate for Billy the Kid now.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I don't know if that would actually silence the people who think that he actually escaped or not. For years, there were a bunch of people who
Yeah.
pretended to be Billy the Kid.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate about all that.
Right. I love it. I love it. And this is funny. Yesterday on the show, we were talking about Jordan Spieth, and he was on his way to winning the British Open, and instead this guy wins. And everybody was amazed. I love following golf. I love watching golf. At the British Open this week, Jordan Spieth, he's an American golfer. He's 22 years old, and he was on his way to a Grand Slam win, the U.S. Open, and all these, like every other major. And he was on his way, and then he misses the playoff by one shot.
Oh, dear.
On Monday morning, and they had to have a playoff. And another American, whose name is Zach Johnson, actually won. It's only his second big win ever, and kind of just lucked out with this whole thing. And last second, last putt, everything. It was like a sudden death thing, and he won.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
It's been exciting.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was, working on the Brew when they were playing golf, but
right.
got to see the highlights. It was very cool. It was very cool. And I think this is the best Kickstarter ever. Have you ever signed up and done anything on Kickstarter? Have you ever done any of the crowdfunding
No, I
things?
haven't.
Not
Oh,
yet?
I've read about it, yes.
And crowdfunding is very cool. It's a way that everybody can kind of pitch in to help
Right.
something. And usually it's for products, like watches and hats and other things.
Right.
But this one I think is really fascinating because as we're nearing the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, the guys, Neil Armstrong's suit, they actually couldn't find a way to preserve it. They actually ran out of money at the Smithsonian. So they said, hey, whatever, let's just do a Kickstarter for it. And already it's been up like 2 days, raised $1.2 million.
Wow.
Which is very
That
cool.
is very cool.
And just to save the suit, because otherwise it would have just disintegrated.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then we got, this is very cool too. I love it when New Mexicans get some high honors. This is a photo of Sister Joan Brown. She's the director of the Interfaith Power and Light Group. And she's getting honored today by the White House for her work with climate change, which I think is very
Excellent.
cool.
Yes.
She works with Interfaith Power and Light, and there's this group in town, and I got to find out more. Maybe we can have her on the show. We got to talk to the
Sounds
folks
a
here.
very good idea.
Because I want to find out more about what these guys do. It turns out that they help other faith-based organizations figure out how to basically save energy and save the planet.
Which we need.
Right? And so she gets honored today by the White House. I love that. And finally, in headlines today, this is one of our most famous New Mexicans, friend of the show here, Stephen Michael Quesada, and you've seen Breaking Bad.
Yes.
And you know him as Gomez.
Yes, of
right?
course.
And there he is, and he's a great guy, and he's been on the APS board for a while now, and he's running for county commission. He's announcing today. So I just think it's very cool that, one of the friends of the show is doing this, and, interesting second career for Stephen Michael Quesada. You might know him from, he was a comedian for years,
Yes.
a playwright, now he's a politician. I don't know if this means something more for him, if he's going on to run for Senate or something, I don't know.
Well, it brings a different perspective, right?
No doubt. Well, we'll be back in a couple of
Okay.
seconds. Para hablar español.
Para hablar español.
Just in a couple of seconds on the Morning Brew with Friends. El morning...
Buen día.
El
Oh, what-
mañana...